guys, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to do a color blocking mani. I'm going to leave the inspo pic right here in the corner for you. I'm going to also link her Instagram down below. Her manicures are amazing. Totally my vibe. I love every single thing she does. You have got to go check her out. So I've been seeing a lot more recently in my comments of my videos that some of you want me to do longer videos. So buckle up, buttercups, because this one's a long one. We're pushing 40-minute mark on this one. In total honesty, I am a lefty. I am a left-handed, and I did not have any tape. If you guys have seen any of my color block videos before, then you know I really love to use packing tape. It's the only tape that works for me for color blocking. And you want to know why I don't have any packing tape? Because my child likes to play this game with his friends. Please don't tell anyone because it sounds so bad. They like to tape each other to my dining room chairs and then time each other and see how long it takes for them to break out of the tape. That's why I don't have tape for this color block, and I was too lazy to go to the store. So I freehanded it with my non-dominant hand, and this one took me a hot minute. So have you guys ever heard the dip phrase? I like to say dip phrase that everybody says. It usually applies to chunky glitters, the whole trust the process. Yeah, that applies to this mani too. It kind of looks like hot trash before filing and buffing, but it came out beautifully. I am so glad because there were definitely points during this mani when I was just debating on popping it off and just doing this peach color with like a glitter and being super basic. So I am glad that I trusted the process and just let it go the way it went, because I'm still wearing these and I love how they came out. I'd actually be okay if these never popped off. I really like them, and the beige pink that I'm gonna use turns out is like my perfect nude. If you're someone with a olivey skin tone like I have, as you can see by my hand, I do have a bit of a tan, but that olive still peeks through. This might be a really good nude for you, and I feel like finding a nude for someone with that olivey undertone is not always the easiest, because sometimes it leans more orangey on me, if that makes sense. But this one turned out, I love this one. This is going to be my go-to nude. So, like I said, this took me a couple of manis to, not a couple of manis, it took me a couple of tries to get it right. So I did do my 2 dips in this perfect peach. I did clear cap and activate off camera just because I was waiting on my peel base to dry on those 3 nails. So I am going to finish up this peach and I will be right back in a sec. I lied, and I'm actually not going to let you guys go. I'm going to tell you real quick all of the things I used to accomplish this color block. You saw them in the very beginning. I kind of showed them for a second. Those super tiny little metal spoons, well, they look like metal, they're just plastic. I got those at the Dollar Tree, and I love them for nail stuff because they are super small. So they're really good for scooping your powder. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find a link for them, but they're in the party supply aisle at the Dollar Tree. And then of course my cuticle tool, I'm using one of those really fine metal, thin metal files. I don't know why I couldn't remember the word metal for a second. Cupcake liners just to not waste any of my powder. So I went ahead, I clear capped those 2 peachy nails, and now I'm going to get started with my color block. If you remember in the inspo pic, the color, there was actually more of the nude color than the solid color. So that's what I am attempting to do. If you are not going to use tape for this, I really do recommend using a dip liquid that dries much, much slower. So double dip liquids were actually really good for this, because since I am not using tape, I had to maneuver the powder a bit with some. Actually, my middle finger turned out really good. I was actually really happy with this one. I didn't have to do too much, but if you need to straighten up any of the lines, just use your cuticle tool like this. I will say, do your color first. I know a lot of people like to start with the lighter color, so like the nude or a white. Don't. Just don't, because I ended up having to redo my ring finger just because I did the nude first. And the only reason I recommend doing the color part first for a design like this, to where it's not even, all the other color blocks I have done, it's always been like sectioned off to half my nail, if that makes sense. So this one is more color, less color, more of the beige. And I found that when I tried to do the beige first, it was really difficult because you're trying to do more beige and the dip liquid is clear on top of a already clear nail. So to me, I just found it a little bit more difficult, if that makes sense. It was a lot more cleanup doing the beige first. So for me, I found doing the peach color first just made doing the beige so much easier. It was so much easier to just do the color first. But if you're up for a challenge and you want to live on the wild side, then by all means, you do whatever color you want to do first. You will notice in a second, you're going to see me file with my metal file. I do not activate my sections first. I have never done that. I know a lot of people do activate each section individually. The only reason I don't do that is because when I am totally done with the color block, I like to clear cap. Y'all know I clear cap everything. And for me, I just found that if I activate them in sections and then I go to do my clear cap, then the base dries faster on certain spots, and then the clear doesn't encapsulate my whole entire nail. I know some girls that activate in sections and they clear cap and it works just fine for them. It doesn't work like that for me. So this is how I do it. I do give the dip like a, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute to set up so that when I am filing, it actually files and doesn't just chip away, or the liquid is still too soft to where it'll just flake off. So that is all I do. To me, it just seems easier. I mean, if I can file without needing to do that extra step and activate, then that's what I'm gonna do. So I am going to now apply the beige, and you will see how it's just so much easier because I have that guide already from the color that I did on the tip. Now my index and my ring finger, those were a little bit more difficult just because I did it kind of the opposite way. I did the color up at my cuticle area, on the side of my cuticle area. So you'll see that in a second. So you will see that my ring and my index finger, I definitely had to do a little bit more cleanup on those two. My middle finger, like I said, came out really good pretty much on first go. So I was happy with that. Oh, that reminds me, before I forget, I need your guys' help with something, so please don't skip forward through this video. Let me get to what I need your help with, and then if you're one of those ones that don't usually watch the whole entire thing, you skip to the end, which is totally fine. But I need your guys' input, so please don't go anywhere. But real quick, I'm going to show you guys my little peel base trick for when I'm doing a mani like this, to where it can get a little sloppy and messy. Pretty much, I'm just kind of lazy with applying my peel base. So a lot of times it looks like my cuticles are like a little bit crusty, but they're not. So when I apply my peel base, when I'm doing a technique like this, you're gonna see here, I'm gonna apply my peel base to my other two nails, because I do 2 coats of peel base on my nails. For peel base, everybody is different. Pretty much if you run more oily, then you probably want to use a little less peel base. If you're more on the dry side like me, you probably need a little bit more. So for me, 2 thin layers of peel base works really well. But if you notice, I was a little sloppy with the peel base, so I did get a little bit on pretty much around my cuticle, and I kind of do that intentionally because if I get any dip liquid or dip powder on my skin whatsoever, it's really easy to just peel it off. Kind of works like latex tape almost. So you will see after I get done doing my middle finger, you'll kind of see me go around with my cuticle tool and kind of pick up or peel off all that extra peel base around my skin. So I just wanted to share that little trick with you guys, because for me, I don't know, it's been really helpful lately, and I kind of learned that on accident. I was kind of messy with my peel base one time, and then when I was filing, I was like, oh, this just peels right off, and so does all the dip and the extra liquid that was on there with it. So you can see here, it looks like my cuticle looks a little crusty, but you're gonna see after I get it all peeled up, it actually looks pretty good. So while you guys are watching that, I need your guys' help with a name for a series I've been working on for quite some time now, like months. Gabe had the idea to name it Watch It and Swatch It, which I kind of like, it's cute, but I'm not going to be doing like swatching. This is going to be a series for like my non-tutorial videos, like if I'm just doing any kind of mani that I've already done a tutorial for before. So a lot of you guys, you know, we chit chat back and forth on Facebook and Instagram, and we talk a lot about like shows and movies and stuff that we all like to watch. And you know how a bunch of beauty influencers, you know, like makeup people on YouTube, like Bailey Sarian has her murder mysteries and makeup videos, which I love them. I'm obsessed with them. There's another one I watch, I can't remember her name, but she pretty much talks about her life and her IVF and all that kind of stuff, her journey and having her kids. So obviously mine is not going to be about murder or my kids, but I kind of had the idea if I just do a mani and we discuss a certain show or movie and it'd be like that. So I thought that would be a really fun series to do, but help me name it. I am a huge fan of Big Brother. If you guys watch that show, hopefully you do. If not, maybe you will start, because that is definitely one of the shows I want to cover. And that one will probably be like the only one I do once Big Brother starts. Because if you do watch Big Brother, then you know it's on like 3 days a week. And there is usually a lot to talk about. Like that's the one show me, Gabe, and Tom watched together religiously every time it came on. So if you like the idea of this series and you want to drop shows or movies down below that you want to discuss, definitely do so, because I will watch them and then we can talk about them. But drop some name ideas for what the series should be called, and maybe I will pick one of them. I'm excited for it. So I'm hoping to have that up in a couple weeks. I already have some manis filmed to go along with shows and stuff that I've picked. Not all the manis are going to actually go, they're not going to actually go with the shows. I'm not doing themed manis. I may once in a while. But for the most part, it's just going to be me doing a mani and just chit-chatting with you guys. So I am going to shush my mouth. I'm going to let you guys watch for a little bit, and I will be back.
Okay, so as promised, the cuticle area is a little bit more tricky to do, and you can kind of see where I had to clean it up with my cuticle tool, and it kind of made that ridge. And doing this is when I was starting to think to myself, like, I don't know how this is gonna go. Maybe we should just pop it off and do a basic little glitter accent. But it actually turned out just fine, even though it has that little ridge there before I clear cap. Again, I'm not going to activate or anything. I'm going to buff, because I found that that ridge was just high enough that when I buffed before I clear capped, my buffer really only hit that little ridge there. So I know it looks like hot trash. It looks a hot mess right now, but it is going to be just fine. You guys will see. Well, you probably already did see. If you saw the thumbnail or you saw the picture in my Facebook group or Instagram, it turned out beautifully. So this is a longer video just because I wanted to really include everything. A lot of you have been asking me for longer videos, so that is what I wanted to do. I didn't include the filing and the shaping, and I'm sorry. I know a lot of you are waiting for me to do a filing and shaping video, and it's not that I don't want to. I have actually sat down and included filing and shaping in a lot of my videos. Here's the problem. My nail room is small, and I don't have the best eyes. I mean, I had eye surgery when I was super young, like 5 or 6. So my lighting in my nail room I'm happy with how it is for filming, but when it comes to filing, I need my hands like right up in my face to file them and get them the way I like them. And I'm a little OCD when it comes to filing my nails. So I am working on getting some different lighting just so that I can see better, so that I can stay in my nail room to be able to file them. Because as of right now, I will be completely honest with you, I dip my nails in my nail room, and then when it's time to file, I go out into
my living room because that is where my lighting is the best. My living room is really open. I have a lot of windows in there, so I can really see what I'm doing. Sometimes doing stuff on camera is just a bit more difficult. Like if I would have done this mani off camera, it probably would have been a little bit easier to do. So yeah, I don't have the best eyes, and sometimes filming different things is just a little bit more difficult. So please don't think that I forgot about doing the filing and shaping video. I have not. It is coming. I am just waiting on a new lamp, so I'm hoping that will help. If not, I may have to get one of those, you know, them things that the old time doctors wear. My ENT still wears one, that headband with the huge light in the middle. It always cracks me up when I go to my ENT appointments and she walks in with that on. I don't know why it's so funny to me, but I may have to get one of those so I can do my filing and shaping video for you guys. Or a light with a magnifier, that would work too. Okay, I am going to shut up and let you guys watch for a bit, and I will be back. So now I got all of my color blocking done. I'm going to go in with that metal file, and I'm just going to clean up around my cuticle, around my edge of my nails where the two different, you know, the beige pink and the peach color kind of meet. Yes, I'm using the metal file. Every single time I use this metal file in my videos when I do a color block, I always have people come for me in the comments and tell me to use a glass file. I have a ton of glass files. I use them all the time on my natural nails before I do my tips. Sometimes I will use them underneath my dip just to smooth out the free edge so it's not rough. The reason I like to use the metal file for, honestly, color blocking is because it's so thin. If I use a glass file and I'm trying to clean up around my cuticles, if you hold up a metal file to a glass file, the glass file is a lot thicker than the metal one. I've used the glass file before for color blocking, and by the time I'm done, if I'm actually able to even get it to wedge in between my cuticle area and the dip, it looks like I've had the set of nails on for like 2 weeks and I need a fill-in. So for me, the metal file works just fine. It does not cut me or anything like that, which is why I think a lot of you told me to use a glass one. I think you're worried I'm going to cut my cuticles, but it's super thin that it doesn't even really touch my skin. I am very careful with it to make sure it is only smoothing out around the edge of the dip. So I went ahead and I did that to my color blocked nails, and as you could see, I buffed them. I wasn't buffing them super hard and aggressive. I was just buffing them enough to make both colors even with each other, if that makes sense. Because you don't want one part of the color block to be higher or shorter than the other, because then you're going to end up with a very uneven nail. So I just buff very, very gently because, like I said earlier, I don't activate yet. So I just buff until the whole nail feels like it's one consistent. I just buff my nail until it's smooth. Pretty much, till it's nice and even and smooth. So I'm going to clear cap these. I am going to activate, and I'm going to file and buff off camera, and then we're going to get into the nail art. So stick around, I'll be right back. So as you can see, they filed up nicely. I have no issues. You really can't even tell that the ring finger and the index looked a hot mess at first. So that's what I'm saying when I say trust the process, because some of those manis that look awful when you're done dipping, once you file and shape, it really, filing is just magic. If you're wondering what is on my right hand, this is my Triple D anniversary mani that I did. I recreated my very first Triple D mani, which I use caked out, and then I did some Triple D stamps on them. So I went ahead and I applied smudge-free top coat, not the sticky base coat, because I wanted a smooth surface for the acrylic paint. And I did not stick with these markers. I just wanted to show this little clip because I know some people might be like, use your acrylic paint pens for this. The acrylic paint pens, I don't think they work so great for doing straight lines. It was a little bit runny in certain spots, so I couldn't get a really good even coverage with the acrylic paint pens. So I am going to just wipe this off in a second and switch over to my bottles of acrylic paint. So as you can see by that little slow-mo clip, the markers just weren't going to work. And you'll see that I have pink on my little piece of paper that I'm using as a palette. I actually ended up switching to yellow instead of the pink, but I'm pretty much doing a different color, thicker line on each of my nails where the color block is. This is another reason why doing the freehand color block, I wasn't too worried about it being 100% perfect, because I knew I was going to be able to cover up any little imperfections, if there were any, with some of the paint. So I just went ahead, I did a line across my other nails, and now I'm just going in with some black because I'm kind of putting my twist on that inspiration picture that I showed earlier, but I'm just doing 2 lines on each nail, kind of random-ish. I will tell you guys, even doing this part took a hot minute. Like, you guys are only seeing like the 36 minutes of it. I started this mani at like 5 o'clock and did not get done till like 9. Lines are a lot of people ask me why I do voiceovers and why I don't talk while I'm doing my nails. Y'all would have heard some words, you know, the ones that rhyme with duck and itch and lit, those words. Yeah, this mani, I'm so glad it turned out good. Because it had me saying all the things. Lines are hard, you guys. They look super easy. They're hard. So I will leave links down below to the brushes I'm using. They are new from Triple D. They did make this a lot easier. I used other brushes at first, and they just were not as good. These Triple D brushes are so good. So now that I have my lines on, I was waiting for the lines to dry so I could do the smudge-free top coat, and I decided to add more lines to my other 2 nails. So I didn't include this part, but I did, once my lines were dry, I applied another coat of the smudge-free top coat. I let that fully dry, and then I went in with my double dip base and my clear dip once again, and then activated and just buffed, kind of like how you guys have seen me do my stamps and my decals and all that stuff. So I went ahead, I did my dip top coat, and now it's time for cuticle oil. This one is Sugar Rush. It was part of the Sweets trio. I don't think this one's available anymore, so I really hope you guys grabbed them because they are so good. I know a summer trio is up now on her website, and I'm gonna order it because it has like a lemonade ice scent, and y'all know how I feel about lemonade. It's my favorite. So I have a link and a code down below for Candy Skincare as well. So if you are in need of some cuticle oil, definitely check them out. But you'll have to let me know what you think of this mani, my kind of take on a little abstract mani. I really like how they came out. So let me know what you think of my new series coming up. Help me pick a name. Do you like Watch It and Swatch It? Even though I'm going to actually do manis and not swatches. And give me some TV show, movie ideas. We can even do like old movies. Harry Potter. So let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.